specific advice for our audience out there on how to handle their portfolios? Let's look at two case studies out here. One is of an existing guy, young guy, who's, probably he was told that you have to maximize equity because
Hmm.
you're young, you've got a long, you've got a long runway, etc. The guy
Has a
maybe
larger risk appetite.
larger risk appetite, maybe came in, maybe not during the COVID fall, but at least in the last couple of years, sitting on maybe a CAGR, of 10-15% per year on his investment. But suddenly now, with all this volatility of the last 3 or 4 months, what's your advice to him and her for keeping his portfolio where treating it in the next, at least for the longer term? Should he stay on track? Do you have any other advice for him?
For that sort of a profile, I would say keep the bulk of your equity investments in large caps, because large caps may not give you 3 or 4 times, sort of returns over whatever duration, let's say a 2 or 3 year period, but they will also protect you on the downside when the cycle turns. And one of the things about the markets is that they're cyclical. Drawdowns of 10% in a year are quite the norm, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is when the market, when the blue chip benchmark falls 10%, it is reasonable to see the small cap and the mid cap indexes fall like 25-30%, whereas individual stocks get pummeled even more. So if you cannot take that kind of risk appetite, you can't have a situation where you want 3x returns, but you're not willing to fathom like a 50% drawdown. Now, how many people can really, work with that kind of a mix? So my suggestion is keep 50% in equities, ideally tilted towards large caps. 30% allocation in gold is necessary given the kind of world we're living in. And with Trump even more so. 20% in bonds because they kind of offer you like a buffer when, things are not going as per plan.
Okay.
So 50, 30, 20 in that order.
Okay.